Hi guys, it's Tina, and today I'm going to talk about 10 books that are going to be released in 2021 that I'm excited to read. First book I'm going to talk about is Fugitive of Telemetry. This is the 6th book in the Murderbot series. I've only read book 1 in the Murderbot series, but from book 1 I fell in love. I don't see any way that I'm not going to love the rest of the series. It is a series of novellas where it is about this robot that it's the robot's job to work security for certain human scientists. It is the robot's job to protect them, but the robot does not like its job and just wants to sit there and watch his shows and has some kind of human-like feelings, but tries to hide it and be like more robot I don't know. It's interesting. The robot's super sarcastic. It's funny. The books are short. It's easy to read. I just fell in love with the series with the first book, and I planned on reading the next 6 books. I'm excited about this 6th book coming out so I can continue on with the series. The next book I want to talk about is The Girl in the Mountain. This is the 2nd book in the Mark Lawrence's series, Book of Ice. The first book was The Girl and the Stars. The Girl and the Stars set in the same world as the Red Sisters series, Book of the Ancestor. This is a story about our main character Yaz, who faces some tough decisions in a world that's basically dying and is fighting for life in her world. She is trying to navigate in this super dangerous world where everything and everybody's basically trying to kill her. And it's not just her, it's like everybody and everything's basically trying to kill everything and everybody. Like, the world's dying, people are just trying to survive, and sometimes that happens by, you know, running faster than you can, and then extra magic and forces that are also working against her. And it's a fascinating story. I would have to say in this instance, the character is not what's keeping me in this story. Normally I'm a very character driven reader and the characters are what are captivating me. With this story, it's the world. The story kind of ended in a way, it was kind of a cliffhanger but kind of not, if that makes sense. So I really need and want to know what is happening next and who comes out of this situation alive. So the next book I want to talk about is The Gilded Ones. This is book number 1 in a series. This is a YA fantasy about this young 16-year-old girl who has unique abilities, and she's worried that her tribe is not going to accept her with these unique abilities. And then this other mysterious woman comes along and offers her to go leave and learn how to fight for the Empire. She chooses to go and fight for the Empire. So it seems like a great coming of age tale. It has kind of like hidden magic. It seems like there's some kind of like training involved, so there might be some magical school, which is one of my favorite tropes. And also it seems like somebody that's coming from a small community, small town, going to a much bigger city and then discovering new things, different worlds, and all of that. So I am really intrigued by this story and I am excited to read it. The next book I want to talk about is Namesake. Namesake is book number 2 in the Fable series. I've read book number 1. I really enjoyed book number 1. It is another young adult fantasy about this girl Fable who, were they pirates? They weren't pirates, they were tradespeople. Her family were they were tradespeople. Yeah, they went from place to place grabbing stuff and trading and all that stuff. So her father was this notorious ship captain, and his ship wrecked. Since he was so well known and so notorious, nobody knew that he had a daughter, and Fable is his daughter, so he kind of left her on this island and says, survive. That's what he said. Here, survive. And if you get off this island and come to me, I'll give you what is due. In the first book, the story about Fable surviving and then going on this sea adventure and trying to get off the island, and what the last, I think it was 4 years have been for her, and coming into her own and her own person and her adventure with trying to get off the island. Hook up with her dad and get what was ever due for her. Some of the things I loved about book 1 is, 1, it's kind of a found family trope, but my favorite thing about it is there is female friendship. Like, a lot, or maybe it's sometimes, I find that whenever there's two girls in a young adult series, they always have to be opposite each other. They can never like align themselves and just be friends. In Fable, there are two girls that at first are like opposite. They end up finding a friendship, and they're not catty or just the stereotypical things that you would find. So that is what I found refreshing and cool about Fable, and why I really am excited to read Namesake, so I can see this group of people go on their next adventure and see what happens. So the next book I want to talk about is A Psalm of Storm and Silence. I read the first book, which was A Song of Wraiths and Ruin. This book is about a princess who loses her mother and wants to bring her back to life. She has to kill a king, so she has to make a king. In these games that her city has, the winner of these games is going to take her hand in marriage, and she then plans to kill him and make him a king to bring back her mother. The other side to this story, we have Malik. He was coming to the city to make his family better. They were going to find jobs and then send money and send for the rest of their family as soon as they got in and got established. He was traveling with his older sister. Before they got into the city, his younger sister got stolen away by this spirit, I think. His younger sister got stolen away. And in order to get his younger sister back, he has to kill the princess. They're trying to kill each other the whole book. I thought it was a pretty cool story, pretty intriguing story. It kind of ended with a lot of questions that I'm intrigued about to see what happens in the next book. I would like to see where these two characters go and how the story plays out. The world in this book is the biggest intriguing factor for me. It goes into the culture and the history, and it's just fascinating, and I would love to get more of it. So the next book I want to talk about is Shadows in Twilight. This is the fourth book in the Dragon Portal series. This series about a Fae princess who she is in hiding because her dad and her brother are basically trying to kill her, so they are the sole rulers and uncontested in their court kingdom slash Fae world. She is hiding in this human city, avoiding using magic because that lets everybody know where she is. And then we have this ship captain who happens to be a dragon, who is looking for these artifacts to be able to close the dragon portal to save his people, and he needs a Fae to be able to unlock the magic in these artifacts, and he can't do it himself, so he's searching for a person with some Fae blood and doesn't expect to find like the Fae princess. Another aspect is the Fae and the dragons are mortal enemies, so it's kind of an enemies to lovers romance situation. So far I've been loving the series. I'm currently reading book 3, and it's just interesting, fun. Each book they go on some kind of adventure to, you know, find these artifacts. Everything always goes wrong. You meet all kinds of creatures. It's just, the world is ever expanding. It's just a fun romance type of book. The next book I want to talk about is The Bone Scroll. This is an Elizabeth Hunter book. This is the 5th book in the series. This is a spin-off series from the Elemental Mystery series that I've told you about probably many of times, and it is vampire romance, and this series is called the Elemental Legacy series, and basically this is branching off and telling stories about the characters that we've already met in the Elemental Mystery series, Elemental World series, and now this is the Elemental Legacy series. So if you haven't read all of those, then this third spin-off is really not going to make that much sense to you. But this is a vampire romance series that is a little bit different than your typical vampire series, because the vampires in this series have elemental magic, and I really enjoy these books, so I will leave the first book ever in the series below in case you're interested in checking it out. The next book I want to talk about is called The Witch's Heart. Now, what intrigues me about this book is the Norse mythology mixed with what seems to be a little bit of forbidden love romance. You give me some witches, you give me some mythology, you give me forbidden romance, I'll try any of that out. That is what drew me to this story. I've never read a book by this author before, so I have no idea about their writing or whether I'm gonna like it or anything, but also the cover is pretty freaking cool. And that's another reason why I want to read this book, because I'm one of those people that will pick up a book solely based on the cover. But since it has those other elements, I'm pretty excited. So this next book I want to talk about is Witches Steeped in Gold. This is another one of those covers that drew me in. Also, it's about this revenge story. It's about these two enemies coming together to get revenge on a collective enemy. It sounds like it is going to be a book about some badass women kicking ass, and so I want to try it. So the next book I want to talk about is She Who Became the Sun. This book seems intriguing because it is set in 1345 China. It has kind of the setup of a prophecy where a boy is destined for greatness, and then the girl basically is destined for nothing because she's a girl, and then the girl kind of steps up and becomes a badass. You can always get me with girl overcoming societal expectations and taking her destiny into her own hands and creating her own life and badassness. I'm pretty excited to get into this book in 2021. That is the new releases that I'm excited to read in 2021. Let me know if there is some other good releases that I should probably read in 2021. If you like this video, hit the like button. If you like this video and want to see more of me, hit the subscribe button. And if you have something to say, comment below. I'll see you in the next one. Bye. Roogs. Roogs. Roog. Can you sit? Good boy. Good boy. You got something. You're gonna get in her spot. Come on. Come on. Come up here. Come up here. Boogs. It's the puppy shuffle. Come on. Get up here. It's gonna be hard to film if you guys are like seriously doing this. I was trying to be like include you into my into the videos, but if you're gonna do this, I don't think I can do this. I don't think I can. Hey, go up. Get up here. Good girl, Stella. Ruger, sit. Good boy. Lay down. I've been trying. So, hi guys, it's Tina. And today, I'm gonna do a super casual video because this guy don't seem to want to move. And today I'm gonna talk about so see if I can move you. Can I move you? Can you get back? So I can, yeah. Aw, Roogs. Coming back now? You're a good boy. But can I film? Please. Please, can I film? So, can you sit? Good boy. You gonna lay down? You can't be on me, Ruger. Come on. Get back. Get back. Sit. No. Okay. I suck at this. What is it about? This is a book set in like the same world. What were they doing? How do I explain this book? Would it be an antagonist? Because it's kind of about, I thought I freaking muted that.